Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Monday, we've made it through the weekend and we're going to start this week not just with a treat of a map, oh yes, a treat, but also an apology from me, not just to you, but to last week's map creators. Now, if you were with me last week, you would have noticed that we had some quite bad lag go on in not just one of the maps, two or three of them. The more detailed the map, the bigger the lag. Now, I thought this was just down to maps. Sometimes they lag. No. The person to blame here is me. Now, I have nailed down what the cause was. I have done it. I don't know why, but I have found the cause. Long story short, about a month ago, a few of you know I was doing some stuff, not for my channel, for something else. And I was using some extra mods such as the ultimate level of detail and the tree lot fix. And both of these were turned up to maximum for that particular project. And I've had them switch back down to normal for a while, for a good while now. Weirdly, and I know I've not done this myself and I can't blame anybody else because nobody else has access to my computer. Yeah, they were both active. Hence the lag. The super bad lag. So I'd like to apologise to anybody, all the creators whose maps were lagging last week. That wasn't down to you, that was down to me. And a special apology goes to Imihihuli, whose map The Marsh, which we reviewed in episode 642. That was the only one that actually lost a star because of lag. And it didn't just lose a star, it lost the seal of approval because I considered it to be unplayable. No. Completely wrong and completely out of order. That map was a beauty and I have tried it with all the settings back to normal and yes, it's perfectly fine. So it's 4 stars for gameplay potential, that particular map, and it gets the BonBonB seal of approval without question. So, yes, we are back to normal. Hopefully all the lag has gone. The lag in the other maps, such as Saturday's map, that beauty. If you've not seen Saturday's map, go and watch it. It's a lovely one. Unfortunately, there was lag in that map as well. Again, not down to the map, down to me. But it's all fixed. We are back to normal. And we're going to start off this week with a real treat. But before we do that, it's time for your daily reminder. That's right, hit the like button, really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thank you very much for your support. Today's map is Miriam Bay by MrMaison, a name you'll recognise for its hundreds upon hundreds of trees, but never before a map.
The first map.
That's right, it is his first map. I wonder how he's done. There's your start square, looks really good to me from up here, excellent. What about the resources? Well, the resources are great, but if you want to do ore, you might want to use the 81 tile mod because there's only a hint of it in the 25 tiles. But the 81 tile mod is recommended in the description, which is great. The screenshots look like they've been taken with a theme, but there is no theme recommended. So we are going with the vanilla temperate. We're using the realistic 1.2 LUT because we do. And there is a one-click collection for the trees. Let's check out the Myriam Bay tree collection. MrMaison, yeah, it's all MrMaison's trees. And why wouldn't he use his own trees, eh? No reason. So, yes, now Myriam Bay, Miriam comes from his wife's middle name, so that's a really nice nod to her. But let me just get ahead of myself here. Today's factoid will be about Cities Skylines and will tie in to Myriam Bay. I love it when it all comes together, you know. Sometimes it just really works. A life just falls into your lap, doesn't it, eh? Now, this bridge here, I'm going to credit this one. I don't think there's a better bridge than this on the map. It's got the curve, which is not the easiest to do. It's just beautifully aligned and everything's very slick with it. I cannot find any fault with that one, and that's as good as his bridges get. There isn't anything better. One or two that don't quite reach that standard. Now, this intersection looks a bit plopped to me, which is fine. absolutely fine. What we got here, we got the slip ramp. Now the slip ramp goes off at an immediate angle. Let's see a bit of curve into that. And then the ramp going up is a little bit on the steep side. Now part of the reason for that is the ramp could be longer, could be. But a bigger problem for me, I think, is the height that it's going to. There's no reason for that flyover to be as high as it is. It could be 40% lower and still be adequately high. And then that would make that slip ramp not so steep. Meanwhile, over this side, we've got a longer ramp, which is probably the right sort of gradient. But it's a little bit lumpy-bumpy because that's the way the game works sometimes. And then you may have some vision issues driving off of that ramp and seeing the traffic coming. Possibly. I can't say that you would, I can't say you wouldn't, I'm just saying possibly. But also, it's just a game, so shout out BonBonB. A little bit wibbly-wobbly with the roads here. Once again, that's part of the game, I'm afraid. And then down here, these two ramps could be aligned. There's no reason for them not to be. And that would just look tidier. So what's going on there then, MrMaison? Hey? Everybody loves MrMaison. Everybody loves me. That official Cities Skylines interview that they did with him was just one of the most lovely things that I think anybody who plays a game has seen, game related, whatever. And I had the oh, hang on a second, just check this bridge. Now these bridges are, the curves don't quite align, and the down ramp on the other side isn't aligned. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, but like my camera work, a little bit not too perfect, bless you. But yes, I had the honour of interviewing MrMaison way back in the day when I was doing a show called Skylines Talk. I got 12 interviews in, and he was one of those who agreed, oh, we've got a little bit of terrain glitching going on there. Okay. Yeah, I had the honour of interviewing him, and he's a really lovely bloke. Really, really lovely. And yes, if ever he offers to buy you a drink, first of all, sit down in shock, because no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, here's his secondary start location all the way down here, down at the bay itself with the beach and look, the waterfronts, lovely. That'd be a nice posh area. The high value residential, not high density, high value residential down there, I think. Back over that bridge. Why are we going so slowly? Come on, skip back to the highway. That's more like it. So back to the highway. Let's see where this takes us to. And where it will take us to is a weird bridge. This I don't get. I really don't get. It's leaning to the right. It's a straight road and the bridge just leans to the right. How you can do a bridge like that, I don't know. It doesn't look too bad from up here, but when you're down at street level and looking down it, it's just like it curves a little bit. We've got a bit of jinky janky going on there, tiny weeny bit. Take a lot of fiddling to actually straighten that out. Personally, I would demolish the bridge and rebuild it straight. Just straight line bridge. That's what we want. That's what we want. We like nice clean straight lines, don't we? Well, don't I? I don't know about you, but me, definitely. Anyway, let's follow this road along and see where we get to. Oh, another bridge. Another bridge. How's this one looking? Perfectly aligned at this end. Got a bit of a curve in it. It's nice. Actually, that's not too bad. Not too bad. I can deal with that one. I kind of prefer the first one, but there's not too much in it. Nothing wrong with that one at all. Now we're down into the start square, the city centre, and we've got the elevated highway in the middle. I don't mind the extra elevation on this one because it's the city centre. You might want to stick some buildings under there, possibly. And then we've got a grid layout laid out for us because of America. Yes, the land of the free and the zoning of the hopeless. I don't know. Anyway, let's follow our road down here into our start. Look at this beautiful area. Now, the only thing that could spoil the view would be the asset review, but we've got a good one today, so that shouldn't really matter, should it, eh? It's the University Parking Garage by KingLeno. KingLeno, another creator who appeared on Skylines Talk back in the day. I'll include one of the links to those two videos at the end of today's show, just so that you can, I don't know, you can catch up. Would you rather have MrMaison or KingLeno? I'll tell you what, we'll do MrMaison, but I'll give you a KingLeno factoid. How about that? So, today's factoids, because factoids, as we discovered in Skylines Talk, KingLeno got his name, the Leno part of it, that's his middle name. There you are. How about that for a magical factoid? Ties in really well with the Miriam thing, doesn't it? Mr. Maison's wife's middle name. It's all about the middle names today. My middle name, by the way, is Bon. There you go. BonBonB. Anyway, that's it. University Parking Garage by KingLeno. That's a spruce asset. That is just beautiful. Excellent work. And that's today's asset of the day. Now, shall we find the road, shall we? Yeah, I think we should. And we should find out where it goes. Because it's all about Mr. Maison today. And can he do things other than trees? This intersection here, lovely busy one. Look at that. Filtering all the traffic in towards the start square. Now, it doesn't quite work. It almost does, but it doesn't quite. If we're coming down this road and we want to get to the start square, let's go on down street level. There you go. Going down here, the only exit ramp is this one. So we're going to go down here. And then we have to take a left because we don't want to be going right. And then that underground tunnel brings us around to, and I'll come back out of that view there. So yeah, it comes out at this tunnel here. And then we've got to merge straight on here and off and out of the city. So yeah, you can't get into the start square from this direction. However, it's a no-through road. So maybe you can plan around getting the traffic to steer clear of the highways, unless they're leaving the city, which is routes that you can take down that way. I don't know whether it was planned. I'm just pointing it out, you know. Now, this looks a little bit drifty. It just kind of like, it kind of comes together. It kind of doesn't there. Comes along here. Under the rail there is fine. And again, why are the ramps starting so far apart from each other? I don't understand. The bridge is good. The bridge is very, very good. Could it be more aligned with the rail bridge? I don't think it matters. Although they're not quite aligned with each other, especially these last pillars here. It's close. It's close. And again, not perfectly aligned on the way down, which it could be. Just a little bit more time aligning your ramps and everything just looks so much slicker. And your ramps will be hopefully the same what's the word I'm looking for? Gradient. Gradient, that's the one. There'll be the same gradient as well. These bridges, the one on the left looks a little bit wibbly, but not too bad. And then we've got this shark's tooth, and I'm not sure why. And so back to the highways. Now the bridges, they don't have to be perfectly aligned, but sometimes they feel like they would be. Like this one, it just seems a bit weird, that one. This one looks okay, but drifts apart a little bit at this end, and it's not aligned at ground level at the second end. And again, that bridge not aligned at ground level at the second end, and there's no reason for it not to. I don't really understand why. Now the rail, there's going to be a bit of a drop down because we are up in the hills here. It's going to drop down quite steeply right here, after which it's not too bad at all. Now, the only reason why I'm pointing that out, normally I'd say we're in the fog, we'll let it go. But in the description, it does recommend the 81 tile mod. So if you have the 81 tile mod, then you've got to allow for your, well, realism to go a little bit further, closer to the edge of the map. I don't mind to the last little bit. But that, it could have been a lot smoother. This bridge is nice. See, now we're well into the middle of the map. It's much better. The quality is much smoother down here. He's done a pretty good job. Perfect bridge there. Don't know what's going on here. Where does that go? Actually, if we follow that, that'll take us back to where we started the show. I'm going to go this way because, yeah, this is down to the docks, and it means we can get on, have an intermission, and do something other than networking. Shall we do that for a change? Maybe. So yes. Oh no, we've got to do shipping routes.
Do you have trouble knowing how to start a new city? Do you need to return to the absolute basics just this once? Don't worry, I won't tell. Then you need BonBonB's Beginner's Guide to Your First City. Click the information button now.
Okay, so let's do those shipping routes, more networking. Fine, absolutely fine. Cuts across some shallow water there, but I don't think anybody cares about that. And then this just meanders its way across the map in fine style. I have no problems with that at all. Water flow, this is your start square, and there's a spawn point right there to take everything away. And there's good strong water flow as well, coming in from a number of directions and heading off out of the map this way. So that's good. Good water flow. Now, while we're talking about water flow, let's go right back to that spawn point. Couple of issues down here. First of all, there's a lot of water coming out of the spawn point, but hey, we'll let it go, shall we? It looks like water should come a little bit further into those areas. Like here, if we go up on the terrain lines, you can see we've got a little bump stopping the water from getting in there. And over here, a little bump over here, stopping the water getting a little bit. I'd like to see the water go a little bit further into these creeks. Just shallow water would be fine. It just, I think, add a little bit more realism. But I do like the, I mean, the map is just full of creeks and rivers and springs. It's got a lot of interest about it, this map, regarding water. Now, I've got to say, this little bit here, I would get rid of that. That does absolutely nothing. You can't build on it. And if you have a look at the water flow, speed the water up. See the water? That water would take that away. It washed that away in no time. So I'm thinking, yeah, that draws away from me, I'm afraid. Follow the water up this way. We'll look around for other things. You see, we've got good water flow. It's an interesting shape as well. It's going to really force you away from doing that grid system over the entire map. And I like that. I like that, being forced to break your mould. Now here we've got water up on the... we've got some marshy areas by design. I'm not sure that they entirely work for me. Like down here, like the water's broken the banks here. And you can see MrMaison has... oh, he knows full well that's happening. And so he's put those reeds in there. And over here again, we've got the reeds in here. I like the idea. I don't think it's unbelievably executed. I don't know what's going wrong there. But it's not working best for me. And again, water, I'd like to see the water go into those creeks a bit more. We've got water over there. I'm not sure if it's intended. There's no foliage there to suggest that it should be intended. Don't know. And then let's have a look at the hills. We've got water up in the hills as well. And it's good. It's good. Looks rocky and craggy. And I think with a theme, a custom theme, this would look brilliant. But as I said, I have had a look. Admittedly, he has got his texture settings set to the maximum, so maybe what I was looking at in the screenshots was a vanilla theme with the textures peaked. And I can't review a map with that. We get the really low screen frame rates, but for screenshots, definitely go for the detail. Now down here we have the Essential Lighthouse. It's Essential Lighthouse. Now you might think that is on backwards. Yeah. But look, it's on a little island, so the only way of getting to that lighthouse is by boat. So I think those steps are for mooring up your boat. Makes sense to me, and I'm going to let that go. Anyway, what do you think about this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. And so aesthetically, I like the design. I really like the design and the layout. It all comes together. Unfortunately, it doesn't look that pretty, and I think it could. All the assets are there. The design is there. The polish is lacking. I can only give it 3 stars for aesthetic, but I feel it should be more. Detailing is not bad. There's no horrendous parts. Nothing shines. It's gonna get 3 stars, but again, it's my first map, and MrMaison will excel. I can see he's going to excel at map making. Gameplay potential, it's here. Apart from cleaning up the polish, which is where the star is lost, it's a 4-star map. Could have got 5. If the aesthetics and the detail were higher, the extra star for gameplay would automatically pop in. Miriam Bay by MrMaison. I was super excited to see he was releasing a map. I'm still super excited because I can see the potential for some excellent maps is right there. For a first map, that ain't half bad. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Join me tomorrow for another map of the What's Map series. Don't forget, we have got the Steam Weekly Chart Show. The Steam Monthly Map Chart Show is out as well. There's that link on screen to the Skylines talk with MrMaison from a couple of years ago, and an old map on screen now if you want to go and have a little vote on an old map. Plenty for you to do. Don't be bored, and I'll see you tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series.